Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if it's your first time dropping by, welcome. My name is Bessie and I would really be grateful if you to consider subscribing to my channel. So as you can see in the title below, in today's video I'll be talking about 5 lessons I learned in this year, 5 lessons I learned in 2022. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you end up enjoying it, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. So before we go into the lessons I learned in this 2022, I would like to describe my 2022 in just one word. And I think it would be humbling. Like, this year has humbled me. It has reduced me. Like, I literally I have to think through each decision I make, like even the smallest thing, like I have to think through it. And I think that's growth, because I think growth comes in like 3 stages. There's a first stage where you don't know anything, you don't know what's happening. You're just like, you don't know what's happening. And then the second stage, which is like the most dangerous, because then you know bits of everything and you become excited and nobody can tell you anything. This is the stage where people talk a lot and they're always arguing. Yeah. And then the third stage, you're just confused, like you do not know anything. That's how you feel. And I feel like that's growth, and this leads us to our first point, or the first lesson I learned in 2022, which is not everything is black and white. Not every question deserves an answer. Like, honestly, some things are better off left like that. There's some things that I would say that would ever be me. Or if I were to be found in such a situation, this is how I'd approach it and this is what I would do. But being found in the same situation, I would rather just not attend to it. Like, adulthood is a scam. And most people say that, especially when it comes to finances and career and all that. But even in other sectors of life, like everything is just like hard. Like, I feel I'm growing, and I just feel like adulthood is hard. Like, not the career is hard, getting your career right, getting the money and everything is hard. But then if every other sector of adulthood is really hard. So it's like, some things are better off left like that. Like, don't try to find answers to everything. Yeah, so the first thing I learned in this 2022 is life is hard. Life is hard, and just leave some things are just gray and leave them like that. The second thing I learned this year is about prayer, like to be selective of what I pray for, and also how I use my words when I'm praying. Because most times that we actually pray, it's like we expect a certain outcome, and when we don't get that outcome, we think God hasn't answered. What I realized this year is that God actually answers, but then the thing is, we think he doesn't answer because the answer we get is not what we expected or what we wanted. Like, let me give an example of somebody you love being sick, and then you ask God, please God, relieve them from all the pains this person has suffered. Like, please let them rest, like in terms of let them rest, relieve them of this pain. But then when you're saying that prayer, what you expect is for God to heal them. Yeah. But then God decides to answer this prayer by taking their life, and you feel like God hasn't answered your prayer. But then your prayer was, this person has suffered, release them from all this pain. Yeah. So it's like God answers, but then we think he hasn't answered because it's not an answer we expected. So it's like, I've learned to be careful with my prayers, because this year, I remember earlier this year I prayed for like 2 stuff, and then God actually answered my prayer. Like, he killed 2 birds with 1 stone. And then I was thinking, like, even when everything was happening, it's like, what? And then it was after like a while, I was like, oh, I actually prayed for this and God has answered. It's just that this is not the answer I wanted. And ever since then, I've been more careful with prayer, and I've been more selective with my words. I want to put things in a particular order so that God understands. And like, I just got to a point where I'm scared of praying, and I just realized that God actually answers prayers. It's just that some answers we get are things that we do not want, and we think he hasn't answered. He actually answers, and whatever happens is for our own good. Yeah. But otherwise, this year, like, I've been found in like situations that God has actually answered. 3/4 of the situations I've been found with that God has answered are things that I never I wasn't ready. I wasn't really like ready for the answer, but then I'm still grateful that God answered, and there are a few things that God still answered and they went according to what I wanted, which I'm really, really grateful for. So like my second point is be careful with prayer, and before you pray for something, be sure that you're ready to take whatever answer God gives you. So, the third lesson I learned this year is loving myself. Like, I feel like in this generation, we try so hard to prove points to people, and we're willing to sacrifice everything and anything so that I prove a point to somebody that I can do this. And like, I feel like that's seeking validation from people, like having to prove points to people, constantly proving points to people that you can do something. And like, I just feel like this is what this generation is all about. I can be alone, I don't need friends, I don't need love. If you're my love, you can die. Okay. Like, I know that's a whole different story, but then the thing is, like, I've just learned to like love myself genuinely, and like be selfish with my love. Like, I realized that the more I love myself genuinely, the more, the better I love the people around me, the better I love the people who I actually do love. And like, one thing I tried this year in the process of like loving myself journey, this is like towards the end, after I already reached the conclusion that I love myself, I tried something at the end of the year, which was like going on solo dates. I went for about like 3 solo dates this year. That's the end of the year. And like, they were interesting. Like, they're not as bad as I thought they would be. They're not lonely. They're actually interesting. And like, I feel like that's good. Like, solo dates, treating yourself and doing all those things. Yeah, it can be a sign of love depending on your love language. Yeah, but for me personally, even though I enjoyed solo dates, I still prefer to go on dates with my friends, and it would even be better if somebody's taking me out. Like, it's just like the thought of somebody actually caring enough to spare some time to spend with me. Like, I prefer that than going alone, but I still enjoyed like some of the solo dates I had. Yeah. So when I'm talking about, like I told you, like prior to this, prior to me going out on these solo dates and like loving myself more and all that, the social media type of loving yourself, like I was like, me and my friend earlier this year were talking about something, and that's like minding your business. And this is one thing that I have a problem with, minding my business, especially people that I really care about. You people should let me know what you think in the comment section, because I really have a problem minding my business when it comes to somebody I love, like somebody I have decided to love, because I feel like loving somebody is like a decision. But anyway, like I'm trying right now, like this story I'm trying to tell you people is like, I'm trying to explain to you how loving yourself selfishly can make you love the people around you better. So we're having this conversation about minding our business, like even though somebody is your friend, like you have to give them space and mind your own business. But then I was kind of disagreeing, because they're like, if I love somebody, and if I see a friend as a long-term friend, whatever decision they make affects me in every way, because these are the future aunties to my children. So it's like I have to check up on them, like I have to check up on the decision they make, like selfishly, because I love myself so much and I am selfish. I care about myself so much. It's like doing good to other people. It's like, for example, if I have a friend who's not studying hard or who's not doing something, and I keep yelling at them, you have to study, because me, I need you in my life to be rich. I don't want to feed you. So it's like me avoiding expenses of having to feed somebody I care about is helping them in a way. Like, I love people better in such a way, like whatever wrong decision they make will affect me, because I know these are like my long-term friends. And yeah, and the other thing we talked about also that made me realize that loving yourself will make love other people better is like forgiveness. I was having the same conversation with the same friend of mine. We're talking about forgiveness, and then I think my friend passed the comment for, you really love this person, like how do you even forgive? I was just like, I'm not even forgiving this person because I love them. No, like I'm forgiving this person because I don't want the stress, like the stress of like keeping a grudge. Like that's so much work, and I don't want all that stress. So in the process of getting rid of the stress, because I selfishly love myself, it's like I'm helping somebody in a way. I don't know if you people understand. And let me give also an example of relationships, because I feel like this usually happens in relationships where people don't really love themselves. It's like most times in relationships, what happens is like people cheating, and like somebody cheating on you and you get back with them. Most times people forgive cheating partners. It's like there's that constant reminder, like if anything happens after all, you cheated on me and all those things, like I feel you haven't genuinely forgiven that person. It's just that you know it's hard for you to live without the person. That's why you said it, like to go back with them, but you haven't genuinely forgiven them. And if you're hurting, because like you getting back with somebody that you haven't forgiven, like that's hurting yourself. And if you keep on doing things that are hurting you, I don't think you love yourself enough. I really don't know if you get the what I'm trying to say from these examples I have given. Yeah, like so like one thing I've learned this year is to love myself selfishly, and this reflects a lot, and it helps me love people around me better because I make better decisions for the both of us. Yeah, and this now leads us to the fourth lesson I learned. The fourth lesson I learned is kind of which is don't put anything past anybody. Like I know you can't really enjoy life without trusting anybody. You really can't enjoy life without trusting anybody. But then just don't put anything past anybody. This year, I watched a lot of documentaries, crime documentaries. And then most of the murder cases I was watching, people are being murdered by people they actually trust. People are being murdered by their parents, by their children, by their brothers. And now you look at your mother like, can my mother really kill me? Like, these people trusted, like, their parents or their siblings or their best friends, the way we trust these people in our life, but they still decided to kill them. Like, just try not to put anything past anybody, not even yourself, because like this year I'm not even like I don't think people who actually murder knew that they were capable of it till they did it, like honestly. So I just try not to put anything past anybody, not even myself. Yeah, that's like the short point I had. And the fifth point is this one I'm still trying to maneuver around it, and that's like trying to have more conversations with people, like listen more to people, because the few times I've actually listened to people, I actually get to know a lot about people, honestly. Like the few times I've listened and had conversations with people, I actually get to know more about them, and I make decisions like, do I really still want this person in my life as my friend or as whatever they are in my life? Like it helps me like make decisions. So I try by all means, or have learned that in 2022 I should like have conversations with people a lot and not just talk, because I know I talk a lot, but I've decided to reduce my talking and like conversate so that I know what they think about things, so that I can decide if I really want this person to be my life, if we can work together or not. Yeah, so those are the 5 lessons I learned this year, and I hope they help somebody out there. Like, yeah, these are the things I learned. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you enjoyed it, please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Comment in the comment section and tell me some of the things that you've learned. If there are things that you disagree with among the things I've said, comment in the comment section. Or if there are things that you agree with and want to add at some point, put it all in the comment section. Thank you guys, and if you haven't yet subscribed, please subscribe. Till next time, bye.